Welcome to the StockMiner.com studios here in the Black Hills of South Dakota. I'm your Stockminer Brian Johnson, and let's catch you up on where we're at. On the last couple days, we are nowhere. It's been a very slow week. Options expiration week typically brings on a lot of extra volatility, but the last couple days for sure, there's nothing. So we got to wait for resolution. We had QE3, that's all out of the way, and everybody's talked that to death, so I won't go into it too much outside of the fact that just to say everybody and their dog knew it was coming. It's been obvious within the charts the last few weeks that something was coming down the pipeline. Wasn't sure, rumors, this and that, but the QE3, now that it's out in the open, okay, it's over with, it's done with, we can move on now. It is very common to see a buy the rumor, sell the news type event when it comes to this. This is not only true of this, but Apple's releasing a new product and so on and so forth. So don't be surprised if we see this thing either A, consolidate for the next couple days, or B, maybe even see a drop, maybe even see a pullback here in the markets. I'm being very cautious, as I always am with my trading. Once you blow up your account, guys, let's get this straight. Once you blow up your account, you're done. Game over for you. So it is all about capital preservation in my book. This is why I recommend the mentoring program so heavily in every single video. I know you guys get tired of it that watch my videos, but I can't stress enough how important education is, how important knowledge is. People will spend years going to school to be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever because there's so much information and that needs to be absorbed in order to do those types of professions, but nobody spends any time before they jump into the market. Listen, you're not trading against grandma down the street. You're trading against those guys in the ivory towers. They have an education. They know what they're doing. You're at a severe disadvantage if you don't. So we are going to be conservative. We're going to wait. We're going to wait for our break. Here you can see the consolidation after the past couple days. Very clean. Very clear here on the chart. We started to pull back a little bit, and now we're mostly sideways as we got up into this 13,650 mark and then kind of drug our way back down into the 500 area and now back up again. So we could triangle out, we could just consolidate sideways. As long as it stays here, I will admit, listen, it's another high base. You still have to be more bullish than anything, but with that being said, I will also say that we are very overextended here. We're very overextended. So if you want to go long, great. Have at it. By all means, please do. But be cautiously long. Cautiously long. I wouldn't even be afraid necessarily to take profits at the end of each day. If you get long in the morning, get out at the end of the day. Look to get back in the following day. Most of the time you can either get in at a better level and or about the same level as you did the previous day, and you don't have to stress about some sort of a 30-point gap down in the morning that takes you by surprise and you're not ready for. Don't get caught in that. We're very overextended, so be very cautious with your long trades. So as you can see, we're waiting for the resolution. I like it back above here. I like the Dow back below here. And this is going to be the theme for the rest of the videos. We're going to have two areas marked. It's worked very nicely for us in here. In this area, we high based. In this area was kind of a high base. You could play that into a high base. It all resolved the way it should, and that is up. We're in another high base here. Let's see if we get that same resolution or if they fool people this time into a nice little drop back below these areas. If we can get back below these areas, great. I think this is the most logical place to go short, but I wouldn't take my shot at it right now this second. Wait until you get these breaks below or above these lines, then make your mark. All right, moving on to the daily. Very clean here on a daily. Look at that. Just waiting for your break here or here. Take your moves when you see that happen. As we move on, I'm just going to show you the NASDAQ. We're waiting for breaks back below here. I really don't have a long opportunity for you. You know I love to trade the NASDAQ long, but at this point it is also getting very extended. So if you want to continue to play it long, have at it. Just be very cautious about your long trades. I would not be holding overnight for the next, I don't know, until we get some sort of a decent pullback in the markets. But as it is right now, go ahead and take your long positions. Hold on to them for a few points, a lot of points, whatever you can get out of the course of a move, and take them. Don't be afraid to be greedy in this environment to the long side. There's just, like I said, pretty extended, so we want to be very cautious with those trades. I can't stress that enough with you. Here's the daily, and you can see us continuing to we're working our way up. We're grinding our way up, so why not? We'll play it. We'll go ahead and hang with it and go long. but you just got to be on edge. I mean, we're up quite a few weeks actually here in a row. Now, we don't have to drop. We don't have to drop hard. That isn't a prerequisite to a move up. We can continue to just grind up. As an example, as a for instance, I like to use that, but as a for instance, go back to the summer of '09. Remember that huge plunge we had in '08? Go back and look at '09, and we just literally every day we just a grind 3 points, then 5 points, then 1 point, then 2 points, then 3 points, then 5 points, then down 3 points, then down 1 point, then back up 6, then up 2, then up 1. It was such a grind. But this can do the exact same thing. I think we're entering a short-term top. If I'm just being flat out honest with you guys, we're getting to a short-term top up here. I don't know exactly where it's at, nor do I want to guess at it. All those pundits out there on these other sites that are going, yeah, right here, go short. If they've been doing that since back in this area, they're getting killed. They're just sitting in a bad position, bleeding to death. I don't want to be that guy. So I'm not going to make guesses with you guys. I'm just going to say if you want to go long, that's fine, but you have to be cautiously long until we do get that nice steady pullback in the markets. The NASDAQ weekly, this is a great illustration. We're 3 days into this week, and we've moved little to nothing overall. 30 points, 25 points high to low. That's a sneeze for the NASDAQ. And it's been the entire week so far. We just haven't seen any movement. Will we get some more? I don't know. One of the things that would work very well for options, options writers, if you will, would maybe be to run this thing sideways. Everybody's making gambles. They're all taking guesses at what they think it's going to do. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. They're buying calls or buying puts. Well, that's all fine and dandy. The problem is if it doesn't go anywhere, you bleed to death, especially if you're buying out of the money calls and out of the money puts. Those things are all but useless to you right now if you got into those on Monday. They're just absolutely bleeding themselves to death. So you got to be very careful with your options plays. I know a lot of you love options, and that's great. Fine. Whatever. It's your money. However, there is a lot more that goes into options than there is regular stocks. So let me just give you a small piece of mentoring advice. If you're not trading stocks consistently well, I would highly recommend you not try to trade options. I know they're tempting. I know they're cheaper. I know if you have a small account, they're nicer to play. You get one good move and you can double, triple your account in no time. I get it. I understand the draw. I do it too. However, if you can't trade stocks consistently well, what makes you think you can trade options consistently well? And they kill you even faster because there's the Greeks to deal with, like time decay and those type of things. Don't get caught in that. Don't get caught in that. So, all right, knowledge, education. God, I can't stress it enough. Here we are for the week, not going anywhere. We got 2 days left, so we'll see. This could be a huge white candle or a huge red candle by the time we're done. But for the first 3 days, there's been nothing to speak of this week. Very, very quiet after the QE3 announcement last week. Here's your consolidation. I want to show you this. Look at how well we consolidated here on the SPX. And a nice pop. If you were patient, you made money. Right here, we're in a consolidation. You're looking for a breakdown here or a break up here. If you're patient, you can make money. You really stack the odds in your favor if you show patience, instead of just throwing money at it willy-nilly hoping for the best. So here are your lines. Back up here, back below here. That's your long, that's your short. Be watching for those over the next couple days and see if we can get some kind of movement before the week ends. Here's a little pullback, a little sideways. You can call this a high base. You can call it a pullback. I really don't care. Regardless, if we break to the downside, look for a retest of this blue line. That's the one that we were holding and holding and holding. Finally, we broke it. I would expect it to maybe hold from the other side once we visit it. Overall, we're going to beat this line. This line is going to go down. The bears are going to rip through this line, and it'll be off, and I'll be taking it off the charts and so on and so forth. But that doesn't have to be tomorrow. First time it comes back to this line, I'd be looking for it to hold. So be very cautious with this back in that area. Here's the VIX. We are extremely complacent. Remember how I went on and on about being down in the sub 14, sub 13 areas? Well, I could go on and on about it again. Very, very, very complacent down here. Let me just say again, we're very complacent. It's almost too complacent. So if there's a time that you could get into the VIX, these are the times you're looking at. I mean, if for some reason we make a sub 1350 or a sub 13 VIX, oh yeah, I'm salivating over that kind of stuff. I love to buy into the VIX down at these levels. And so we're waiting to see how this resolves. But as it is right now, the VIX is bleeding to death. It is still moving down, but these are levels where you start to dip your toe in the water to a long. Now, this is the type of trade that I'm willing to take a little bit more of a gamble on, but I am not jumping in with a billion shares calling it good. You jump in with a little. And what I mean by that is, let's say you typically trade 100 shares. Jump in with 10 or maybe 20, 25 at the most, and just see what happens. If it drops, you have plenty of time to get out. If it goes down and you're like, no, I'm good, I'm going to hang on to this thing, you have plenty of room to add. And it's a very, very good, strong strategy. So at this area, not a bad place to be looking long the VIX. The weekly looks very, very weak as well. We're down into some just huge complacency levels down here. I would expect us to be back up above 15 very shortly. Within the next few days, definitely by the end of next week, we will sniff or be above 15. That doesn't mean by the end of next week we'll close above 15, but in one of the days before next week ends, we will have gotten back above 15 or this. It just seems to be the way it works. Now, whether the market will move in tandem with that's a completely different question. They don't always move together, but I would expect that. So a big drop in the markets or some sort of further drop in the markets doesn't have to be big. Could be just enough to push that VIX back up and above 15. So good time to be looking at it. Here's FAS, just like the SPX. This thing is clean. Look at this. Back above here, back below there. There's your long, there's your short. I love it. Same thing on a daily. It works very nice from a day trading perspective or from a swing trading perspective. So you're looking for moves back below those two lines I showed you, which of course on the FAZ is a little bit reversed. This one looks strong to the upside. We bust back above this 1730-ish area, and I like this thing to the long side, even potentially back into this blue line. That is up there a ways, people. So that's not a bad trade. Potential for a buck on this trade if we can get up and over these lines here. Just a matter of being patient and waiting. I hope it doesn't gap on us. I hope we don't see some big gap in the morning and so you guys can't get in. But if we can get a push up and through, love it. Be looking for that. And then back below here is quite a good short. So you have opportunities here, guys. Mark them in your charts and get ready to play them. I don't care if you play FAS or FAZ, whatever. Everybody prefers something a little different, it seems. But this is a good one to try. If you're in some of you have money in accounts where you can't go short, you have to go long. If that's the case and you can play FAZ, this is a good one to do. When the markets go down, this goes up. This one's based off the Russells. So you want to track the Russells on this one to see which way it's going to go. But I like the way the Russells looked at the end of the day for a short. So I wouldn't be nervous at all. If we got back above these areas I'm giving you here for long positions on FAZ or short positions on FAS, I wouldn't be afraid to take them. Whether or not they stick the first time, I don't know, but I would certainly not be afraid to take them. I'd tell you to give it a shot. Okay, there you have it. Break and we'll be done. Maybe I can do a weekend video. We'll try one on Friday. If not, it's always every week for sure. Not much to speak of right now, so we'll see what we get the rest of the week. The newsletter, guys, it's $28 a month. It's super cheap. Try it. The mentoring is where it's at. Send me an email if you want to do this for a living, or you're looking to do it on a more consistently profitable standpoint. You got to have an education. So, and that's it for today. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.